إلا بالله العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على سيدنا ونبينا وطبيب نفوسنا بالقاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الهداة المهديين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
واللعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم أعداء الله. أما بعد، قال الله تبارك وتعالى: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Continuously we are discussing about the rights of parents. And today I would like to conclude this topic because we also have to discuss about the rights of children, sons or daughters tonight, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we mentioned yesterday, that He emphasized on the efforts of mothers. So Allah wants us to do good to mothers more than fathers. This is all, like for example, known by everyone. There is a narration at the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A man came to Rasulullah and he said, "Ya Rasulullah, I want to fight in the way of Islam. I want to do jihad, participate in jihad. But the thing is, when I want to participate in jihad, my mother, she becomes nervous. And there is no one who can take care of my mother. There is no one who can take care of my mother except myself." So Rasulullah said to him, one night making her to be in the position of comfort, it is better than the fight in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for entire year. So you can imagine that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His Prophet, they allowed him to stay at home with his own mother and not to participate in jihad to provide her peace. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And that's why, mu'mineen, when we say وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا, when we pray for the parents, because of the parents, with the wasila of parents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He accepts lots of our dua. So that's why a man came to Rasulullah and said, "Ya Rasulullah, I have haja." Okay. So Rasulullah said to him, "Go and do you have any of the parents?" He replied, "I have my father." So he said, "Go and do good to your father. So inshallah Allah will listen to your haja." Please concentrate. So for our own hajat, Rasulullah gave us a method that if we have, like for example, any specific haja, doing good to the parents will make our haja to be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's why Rasulullah, when he left, this guy left, Rasulullah said, "I wish he had his mother alive. His father was alive, but I have wished that his mother was alive." Because mother, if you do good to mothers, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showered more blessings upon you. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And we have to understand and recognize that whatever good we do towards them, okay, there is no, for example, repay for their efforts. Sometimes when we are good to our parents, we feel that they did ihsan upon us when I was child. Now I am doing ihsan upon them when I am grown up and they are in need of mine. But mu'mineen, the ihsan is not completed. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when an Arab man saw him while doing tawaf of Khaneh, so he was holding his mother on his back and giving her tawaf. So he asked Rasulullah, "Ya Rasulullah, did I fulfill all the rights of ihsan towards my mother? She did a lot of good things to me, so I have paid back all of those her efforts." So Rasulullah said, "Although you are making efforts, by putting her on your back and giving her tawaf, you have not repay about one of the shouts he
الله
shouted at the time of your birth. Salli ala Muhammad wa
صل
ali
على
Muhammad.
محمد وعلى صل على محمد.
And mu'mineen, that's why because of doing good, being good to the towards parents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases our life. Our risk is increases. And those who are not obedient to the parents, sometimes what happens, deaths become very difficult, and likewise, a man faces fakr in his life. That's why there is a narration at the time of Rasulullah. Some of the people they called Rasulullah because there was a man who was very much close to his death, and he was not capable, to have, a transaction from this world to the year after easily. So Rasulullah, when he came, he saw this man, young man, is struggling, has a lot of struggle in dying. So he realized and he asked him a question. Do you have a mother? He said, yes. So Rasulullah said, call his mother. Maybe she is angry upon this guy. Okay. So when Rasulullah called that mother, Rasulullah spoke to him and said, is there any problem between you and your child? So she said, yes, Ya Rasulullah, I am angry with him for long duration. So Rasulullah said, look at your son, because he is struggling and he is facing punishment by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make you and keep you to be angry. So you have to, like, for example, forgive him now. So when mother saw the situation of his child and son, he said, Ya Rasulullah, I forgive him. As soon as she said, I forgive him, Rasulullah, asked this guy, young man, say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So he repeated the sentences and he died peacefully. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali
اللهم صل
Muhammad.
على محمد وعلى
So, mu'minin, we have to do ihsan, be good, obedient to our parents. And even after their deaths, there is a ihsan, way of ihsan. Like, for example, if they have qada namaz, you have to recite them. Sometimes people, they ask you, on first child, first son, it is wajib to do qada namaz of father, for example. But sometimes people, they ask you, is it wajib for mother to recite her salat, qaza salat? It is not wajib. But ulama, they say it is a highly recommended that you do qada namaz of your mother as well. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali
اللهم
Muhammad.
صل على محمد وعلى
After their deaths, even when they are alive, giving sadaqah for them or on their behalf, it is highly recommended. Going for Hajj, performing their fast, if there is any mustahab or any wajib fast they have, so you do the fast on behalf of them. Seeking maghfirat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَقُلْ رَبِّ رَحْمُهُمَا Kama Rabbayani Sagira, or you say Rabbana Ghafirli Wale Walidayya, oh Allah, forgive me and my parents. This dua of maghfirat should be within their life when they are alive and when they are dead as well. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
محمد.
And likewise, mu'minin, respecting the friends of your parents. This is also one of the rights and etiquettes and akhlaq of Islam. That, of course, when your parents were alive, they had a friendship circle of friends. So, of course, whenever you see the friend of your father or mother, you provide respect to them. Sallallahu alaihi
اللهم صل
Muhammad.
على محمد.
Now, one question, one of our mu'mineen, he asked me yesterday that do we have to, like, for example, when we say haq of parents, nafaqa, parents, they are relying upon you financially, okay? Yesterday I told you that it is responsibility of son to take care of the expenses of elderly parents if they are dependent on you, and you have to divide your wealth equally between your parents, wife, and children. And there is a narration from Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi
اللهم صل
salatu
على
wasalam.
محمد
He was asked, Mani ladhi ujbaru alayhi wa talzamuni nafaqa. For nafaqa, for whom I am bound, it is necessary for me to provide their nafaqa. Nafaqa means shelter, food and necessities of life. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, Al-walidan wal-walad was-zawja. Your responsibility is to take care of your parents and your child and your zawja. Some of the fuqaha, they say the priority is with your wife, but other fuqaha are mostly, they come to the conclusion and they say that you divide your wealth equally between them when there is a responsibility of your parents upon you. But some of the fuqaha, they say you have to give priority to your parents upon your own children and wife. So these are the different opinions of fuqaha in this regard. Sallallahu Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, one thing which is very important, you know, I have, like for example, daughter, I have son. When parents they became old and they are relying upon children, mostly in our societies we believe that the responsibility is with son, not with daughter. Please concentrate. So, according to Islam, the responsibility is also indeed it is on son, but if he is not capable financially, for example, or he is not interested in his parents, then that wajib goes upon daughters. If they are earning, like for example, they are having job, or they have earnings, or if they get some money from their husbands, for example, and they are happy to share their money, so that becomes wajib upon daughter as well. So we have to bear in mind and keep in mind the responsibility of parents is not only upon son. So for example, in Islam there are categories. If son is not there, or you have grandson, okay, so then grandson should take care. It is wajib upon them to take care about grandparents, okay. Son, if son is not capable or dead, his children are responsible financially to provide support to grandparents. If, for example, son has no children, then daughter and the children of daughter. This is the tertib and sequence which should be taken care when it relates to the financial support to parents or grandparents. Sallallahu Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, this is all about the rights and hukuk of parents. Now, children, one of the great rights of children, it is very important in the religion of Islam. When we say rights of parents, parents also, they have some laws and rights to take care about their own children, because this is the next generation. And according to Islam, the next generation always should be better than previous generation. So that's why when it comes to the rights of children, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, وَحَقُّ الْوَلَدِ عَلَى وَالِدِهِ, the right of son upon his father, and yuhassina ismahu, that he should give him good name, but yuhassina adabahu, and we should teach adab and akhlaq and good etiquettes to our children. This is right of parent. So we have to give them good name on the name of Ahl Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, basically. And then the second thing is we have to teach them adab and akhlaq. I remember when I was child and my father's generation, adab and akhlaq was very much important in, like for example, societies of Lucknow or Hyderabad, for example. They used to teach children when they are coming to mosque or a center or azadari what to wear, how to behave, how to say salamun alaikum, how to sit, how to drink and eat. These are all adab which are mentioned in the book of Adam. So we have to give adab of Islam to our children. And that is, Mu'min, it is very important. Sometimes in Western culture, because the culture is totally different, okay? So people, they participate to, like for example, comes to centers or azakhana, but they behave like that. For example, they are at school or they are at universities. It is not like that, because we have our own adab, etiquettes and akhlaq which should be maintained. And this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is asking us. وَحَقُّ الْوَلَدِ عَلَى وَالِدِهِ, the right of son on his father is to give him good name and teach him adab of Islam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So of course, adab, etiquettes, akhlaq, there are adab which are like, for example, related to each country, muashara, society. That is good, no problem. But you also have to teach them adab of Islam. وَيُعَلِّمُهُ الْقُرْآنِ. And then Imam Ali, he says, he should teach him Quran. So this is the narration which I brought to you. Now, Mu'minin, please concentrate. When it comes to the upbringing of children in Islam, the haqq of children, it is, the thinking, the plan is far beyond our thoughts sometimes. Islam, when we have marriage, we have through the process of marriage. At that point, husband and wife, they think about having children, or for example, they think, what we have to do we have to have children or not? But in Islam, when you want to have children, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, when people, they are bachelor, if you want to have good and healthy children, so first of all, you have to work upon your own self and build up spirituality. So that's why sometimes there are marriage courses, introduced by ulama. They say when you are choosing partner for yourself, choose a healthy partner who is compatible with you in Iman and in Islam. Because sometimes compatibility is only seen for, like, for example, the man is, like, for example, the boy is doctor, the girl should be also doctor. But also they have to see that, are they practicing Muslim? Because that is main criteria. Because whatever parents are, they are going to, transfer their attributes, their akhlaq to children. Okay? So tarbiyah is after births. But having children, attributes of children, they are dependent upon the personalities of parents and husband and wife. So that's why Mullah Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, when he wanted to have a son like Abbas alayhi salatu wasalam, he asked to his brother Aqil, انظر لي امرأة, find me a woman, قد ولدتها الفهولة من العرب لتلد لي غلاما فارسا, find me a woman from brave tribe, so I can have brave son Abbas in the form of Abbas, who can fight for Imam Hussein on the day of Ashura. So that means Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib is clearly saying, if you marry in the brave, like for example, tribe or family, your children are going to be brave. If you marry in the family of, like for example, educated people, so of course the intellect level of your children will be higher than others. So meaning, for planning children, you have to plan first for your marriage, where you are married, doing marriage. Sallallahu alaihi Muhammad. So this is one example. That's why there is a narration from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He says, "As-sa'idu man as-sa'ida fi batni ummih." Lucky and blessed is the one who is lucky and blessed in the womb of mother. In the womb of mother. Why? Because he is continuing the attributes of parents. Whatever son or daughter they are in the womb of mother, they are khulasa, summary of their parents. وَالشَّقِيُّ مَنْ شَقَى فِي بَطْنِ أُمِّهِ. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, the unfortunate, unlucky is the one who is unlucky in the womb of mother. This is in general. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, it doesn't mean that if a man is unfortunate, unlucky in the womb of mother, there is no way for him towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, there are way for him. That's why Rasulullah sent prophets alayhi salatu wasalam, Aimmat Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, environment. There are things which can, like for example, there are many people who were shaqi, but when they had good environment, they changed themselves. Okay, so the way is open, but there are many things which we get from our parents, which are foundation for us. So that's why I always mention this event of father of Allama Majlisi. Allama Majlisi, all of us we know him. He wrote great books in history, and he is the one who is well known. Every writer or narrator, when they speak about a narration, they give reference of the books of Allama Majlisi. And his father, Muhammad Taqi Majlisi Awal, we call him Majlisi Awal, first Majlisi. He took his son to mosque to pray. He was alim, Imam al-Jama'at. So when he took him, so of course Allama Majlisi was child, he was playing. But what he did, one day a man came with his mashkiza, container of water, you could say. And he said, "Oh, Muhammad Taqiyul Majlisi Awal, your son, he did bore my mashkiza water container and he had no intention of drinking water." So he felt ashamed and he apologized, Muhammad Taqi Majlisi Awwal, and came to his mother of Allama Majlisi. And he said to her, maybe this amal of him is related to you because I have not, caused any harm to anyone in my life. Did you do anything while you were pregnant? So this lady, pious lady, she says, you asked when I was pregnant, you asked me to eat whatever I provide you, only that food. So I was very much punctuate. I was eating what you provided to me. But one day, one pomegranate, anar, fallen down to our house, in our house from our neighbors. So I wanted to taste something soury. So of course, I took the pin and put that into the pomegranate, and I wanted to have some juice of this anar. But at that point, I realized you asked me not to eat anything except what I'm going to provide you. So I left that pomegranate. So Allah Majlisi, he says, Muhammad Taqi Majlisi Awwal, the father, he says, maybe that is the reason why our son, did bore the mashkiza of one of the ma'umeen when I was reciting Salah. So, Mu'minin ulama in history of Ayman Tahrir alayhi salatu wasalam, we see that when there are ashab of Aimah, they practice Islam a lot in a way that they know if they are practicing Islam, that piety is going to be transferred to their sons and grandsons. And I mean, this is reality within our time. Like for example, if you go 15 years back, okay, 15 years back, there were like for example children in Iran who were memorizing Quran Majid, all Quran in the age of 4. If some of you may be going to remember, Muhammad Hussain Tabatabai, the child who memorized Quran Majid at the age of 4, how he was capable to do that? His father was alim, and mother, when she had child, Tabatabai, in her womb, she was always reciting Quran and having connectivity with Quran. Okay, so and scientists they say children in your womb of mother, they react to music or any sounds around them. Okay, isn't it? So the child was very much familiar to Quran Majid in the womb of mother. So when Taba he got birth, whenever he was crying, the mother used to give him, like for example, calm him with the recitation of Quran. So that made him to be Hafiz of Quran at the age of 4 and 5. Now, these are all examples. Whatever, it's upon you how you want to make your children and future of your children. That's why Mullah Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, he says you have to give adab and akhlaq of Islam to your children when they are in childhood. When they are children, of course, there is another narration. You shouldn't be pressurizing your children to learn things up to the age of 7. Inshallah, we will discuss that also under the chapter of right of Saghir, right of minors. But Islam says when you have children, when you bring to them to, like for example, the alim or to the center, teach them everything in the form of play. Okay, engage them. Give them Islamic environment. After 7 and 8, you have to ask them to, like for example, pray or do show submission towards Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, he says, from the time of birth, This is the time when you can give shape to your child and future of your child. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, he says, your child at the time of birth is like white paper, nothing is written on it. You can write whatever you want to write on that paper. Or he says, your child is like a stone, nothing is written on stone. If you write anything on that stone, so of course anything written on stones is going to remain forever, isn't it? When we write something on stone, it's going to remain forever. So that's why Imam Ali, he says, if you write good, give good habits to your children and adab in childhood, that is going to remain forever. So that's why, those who are elderly here, or those who are like, for example, who have like a good memory of their childhood, they will realize that sometimes people, they enjoy the timing of their childhood. They remember many things, and that is the basically foundation which writes your future and confirm your future, how you are going to be in future. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So adab is very important, and that should be given to them from the time of birth. And وَيُعَلِّمُهُ الْقُرْآنِ. Ali ibn Abi Talib, he says, you have to teach them Quran Majid. This is right. And on the day of judgment, if any father he did not teach Quran to their children, they are going to be questioned. Because on the day of judgment, some will simply say, oh Allah, I don't know Ahkam of Islam, I don't know Quran because my father didn't teach me anything. So fathers will be questioned on the day of judgment. That's why Quran says on the day of judgment, father and mother, they will run away from their own children. Why? Because there is a responsibility. They have to answerable towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is their haqq. We have to teach Quran to them. Recitation is not enough. We have to teach them tafsir Quran and what basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned within his words and books. Muhammad and mu'mineen, parents should realize that the more pious their children are, they are going to benefit them within this world and hereafter. I see many families, some of their children, there are many pious. Those pious children, because of their piety, they take care of their parents. And those who are not non-practicing, for example, sons or daughters, they leave their parents away. They leave them alone because they don't care. But the son who is taking care of parents, that is because of the religion of Islam. That Islam says, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. So if I teach him Quran Majid, so of course he's going to take care of you and your grandparents as well. And even after death, whenever the recitation of Quran is being done by this child, the sawab is there. This is a great narration from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that one day Rasulullah was passing through graveyard. He asked his companion to pass very fast. When they came back from same place, Rasulullah said, you can walk slowly. Same ashab, they asked question, why Ya Rasulullah? You are asking us to walk slowly, while you ask us to walk very fast, go through from this place very fast when we were going to our destination. So Rasulullah said the reason is, at that point, this Sahib Qabr was receiving adab, punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, while on our return, Allah is showering His blessings upon this same man. So they said, what happened? Within short duration, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed adab. What happened, Ya Rasulullah? So Rasulullah, he replied, he had one son. He got one son. His mother asked the son to go to a teacher, muallim, teacher of Quran. Teacher of Quran. And when he went, the child is masoom, not baligh. So he said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Teacher asked him to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. With that masoom tongue, child said Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maybe he doesn't know the meaning of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I begin in the name of Allah, who is Rahman and Rahim. So Allah said, hold on. the son of a man who is calling me Bismillah with my name, Allah who is Rahman and Rahim, this is not appropriate and good for me to punish his father. So that's why Allah stopped the angels of Adab and asked the angel of Rahmah to go and shower blessings upon the grave of father. Salli ala Muhammad wa alayhi. So that's why meaning this is haqq. When we fulfill the haqq, we teach Quran to our children. So of course that is going to benefit us, no one else except ourselves. And other haqq, the third haqq of child, is to give him, like for example, groom or bride, when they are in the position of marriage. وَيُزَوِّجُهُ إِذَا بَلَغَ. There is a narration which says, when they are in the position to marry, allow them to marry. Of course, in our societies, mu'mineen, all of us, we know that parents, they, like for example, save money to give their daughters, husband when they are, like for example, in certain age. But in the religion of Islam, Islam teaches us. Islam says if you are wealthy, you have to support your son as well. Because, getting them marriage, engaging them in the process of marriage, providing wealth and facilitating them, that is the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let us recite that verse. Salli ala Muhammad wa alayhi. This is the well recited verse by ulama. Whenever there is a nikah, they recite this verse. وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ وَإِمَائِكُمْ إِنْ يَكُونُوا فُقَرَاءَ يُغْنِهِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ وَاللَّهُ وَاسِعٌ عَلِيمٌ. What Allah says, those who are unmarried, allow them to be married. وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ. Ayama means those who are unmarried. So among your sons, daughter is also unmarried, son is also unmarried. So as you support to the daughter, show support towards daughter, you have to show support to your son as well. And this is in the narration of Imam Tahrir. This is right of son upon father. Because if, like for example, he is not getting in the, like for example, in the relation, maybe he could commit a lot of sins. And of course, in the Western culture, there are very much things open for everyone. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَأَنْكِهُ الْأَيَامَ. Those who are not married, support them so they can be married. وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ وَإِمَائِكُمْ. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala emphasized about the kaniz. Previously people, they used to have abd, ghulam and kaniz. So Allah says those abd min ibadikum. Abd means the men. Wa imaikum, the ladies who are kaniz of you. If they are unmarried, allow them to be married. In yakunu faqara. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says sometimes people, they do not have children, okay, because of wealth. People, they say we are not going to have children because we do not have sufficient funds. Or sometimes people, they make excuse that we are, like for example, not capable to bear responsibility of wife financially. So Allah says if the concern is finance, in yakunu fuqara, the concern is only finance. So you have to understand that in yakunu fuqara, if they are faqir, yughnihim Allah min fadlih. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide them with His own ghina and wealth. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And even sometimes marriage became difficult because of the customs which we have. And at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, marriage was very much easy. So this is responsibility again of parents and society in general to make marriage as easy as possible. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one day a woman came to him and asked, Ya Rasulullah, I have no husband, I want to marry. So Rasulullah asked his companion, anyone willing to marry her? So one Sahabi stood up and said, Ya Rasulullah, I am bachelor, I want to marry her, but I don't have anything to give her as mahr. And we discussed that marriage is one of the right of wife. So Rasulullah, he said, do you know Quran, recitation of Quran? So he said, Ya Rasulullah, yes, I have memorized Quran. So Rasulullah said, this is your mahr. Teaching Quran to your wife is marriage. So she accepted, and Allah, the Rasul of Allah, he made marriage to be easy in such manner. And likewise, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib
صل
alayhi
على
salatu wasalam, after Hijrah in Medina, when he came with the proposal, with his proposal, he proposed Fatima to Zahra salam alayha. So Rasulullah asked him, what do you have as mahr? So Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, he replied, I have only sword, camel and shield. Sword to fight in battlefield, Rasulullah said sword is very much necessary. Camel is also necessary, transportation, way of transportation, it is also necessary. And then Rasulullah, he smiled and said, Ali ibn Abi Talib, you are a brave man. You don't need shield, we can sail that. So that was soul and jahiziyah and mahr of Fatima to Zahra, salamullahi alayha, was given from the money of that shield. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So Rasulullah, the one who is Khatamul Anbiya, greatest man on earth, Afdalul Anbiya, the man who is Afdal, greater than any Nabi, he made the marriage of his own daughter to be very much simple. Okay, so Rasulullah is Usway Hasana for us. Quran says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ Uswatun Hasana. The life of Rasulullah is ideal life for us. So Rasulullah made marriage easy for Janab Fatima to Zahra and Ali ibn Abi Talib. So this becomes our own responsibility, especially parents, to make it in every society to be easy and possible for everyone. Because half of our religion relies on marriage. Half of the religion is protected with marriage. Rasulullah says, Man tazawwaja faqad ahraza nisfatine. The one who married, he protected half of your religion. We can imagine half of our religion is protected. For another half, Rasulullah says, فَلْيَتَّقِ اللَّهِ فِي النِّصْفِ الْآخَرِ. For other half, you have to be practicing piety. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Mari dikir salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Final thing, we have 2-3 minutes. 1 minute. About nafaqah. Nafaqah of child is haqq, means providing him shelter, food and libas and necessity of life. Now the question, until what time you have to provide nafaqah to your children? So from the time of birth, it is wajib upon father. Okay, when there is a father, he should provide necessities of life to his child, daughter or son, until the time, like for example, daughters get married, so she is at the home of her husband, and son until the time when he finishes his education and he is capable to get a job and start earning. Until that time, it is wajib upon parents to take care about nafaqah of children. With this, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us strength and tawfiq so we can fulfill the rights of our parents and children. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us and our marhumin. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the obedience of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. We recite Surah Al-Mubarakat Al-Fatiha for marhumin of tonight's sponsors. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد صل على محمد وآل محمد.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل. حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل. حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة. قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
صلاة المغرب.
إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين. استغفر الله ربي. الله أكبر.
الله
بسم
أكبر.
الله الرحمن
الله
الرحيم.
الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
الحمد لله رب العالمين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. بحمد الله وقوته يقومها. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار بجاه محمد وآله الأطهار. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بحمد الله موجود به يقوم ويقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. يا لطيف ارحم عبدك الضعيف. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. استغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. استغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. استغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا علي ويا عظيم يا غفور يا رحيم أنت الرب العظيم الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. وهذا شهر نظمته وكرمته وشرفته وفضلته على الشهود وهو شهر الذي فرضت صيامه علي وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن هدى للناس بينات من الهدى والفرقان وجعلت فيه ليلة القدر وجعلتها خير من ألف الشهر. ويا ذا المن ولا يمن عليك من علي بفكاك رغبتي من النار في من تمن عليه وادخلني الجنة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم
صل على محمد وآل محمد. سورة المباركة الفاتحة. وقولي مرحبا سيد مشرف علي جعفري سيد إقبال فاطمة جعفري سيد محمد الأحسن جعفری وسيد M حسين جعفری. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى
Mu'mineen, Assalamu alaikum. Just want to take a minute to recognize today's iftar sponsors, the families of Zakir Ali, Hassan Ali, Javed Naqvi, and Hussein Ali. We're very thankful for their participation in this Ramzan program. Join us tomorrow at 6:45 p.m. with the recitation of the Holy Quran for our daily Ramzan program. Tomorrow's program will be sponsored by the families of Mrs. Suraya Fayazi, Arshad Fayazi, and Omar Sheikh. So please join us tomorrow. And finally, if you did not see the email or the announcements, it's very sad news to share that uh, Khalu, also known as Marhum Muhammad Yasin Jafri, had passed away today. So tomorrow after Salatul Zohar will be the Namaz Janaza at MFI. Following that will be the burial at Astaana-e-Zehra Section 3 at around 2:30 p.m. So please join in for those programs tomorrow. And finally, please recite a Surah Fatiha from Marhum Muhammad Yasin Jafri.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين علي ولي الله أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين علي حجة الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
صلاة العشاء.
الله أكبر
الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. بحمد الله وقوته يصونها. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر. ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر. تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بحول الله وقوته يقوم ويقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته يقوم ويقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. يا لطيف ارحم عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين. الله أكبر. بسم الله وبالله والحمد لله وخير الأسماء لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا علي ويا عظيم يا غفور يا رحيم أنت رب العظيم الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. وهذا شيء نظمته وكرمته وشرفته وفضلته على الشعور. وهو شهر الذي فرضت الصيام علي وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن هدى للناس بينات من الهدى والفرقان. وجعلت فيه ليلة القدر وجعلتها خير من ألف الشهر فيا ذا المتي ولا يمن عليك من علي بفكاك رغبتي من النار في من تمن عليه وادخلني الجنة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم صل على محمد. Mu'minin will assemble for dua etc. at 9:15 p.m.
No.